What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Now today we've got the 10 biggest lies about India. Now this one was sent to me through the Instagram DMs a few times, so I'm like, you know what, fuck it, let's react to it. We haven't done one of these videos in actually quite a while, so I thought we'd be silly not to. But hey, if you guys are new, subscribe. Let's check it out.
Population in the world next to China, and not to mention even the amount of Indians that have immigrated to other countries. And with a lot of people comes a lot of different stereotypes, misconceptions, and lies. So welcome back to another episode of FTD Facts. Hey. My name is Leroy Kenton, and this is the latest episode in our biggest lie series. We've done them about several other countries before, and now I found 10 for India. So let's just jump into everything. So the lie at number 10 is Indian is a language.
Yeah, people are just so dumb when you think, like, they don't speak Indian. Like, there's like, to be honest, obviously we all know there's like 10 plus languages in there. I mean, yeah, like Hindi, I don't know if, that's the only main one that I know. I haven't actually dealt, that's one of the things that I want to learn more about India is the amount of languages. I want to say, I know Tamil Nadu is a city or a state, but I don't know if that's a language as well. I mean,
Language. Oh my god.
Yeah, that, it annoys the shit out of me.
Can you speak Indian? Speak Indian. No. Indian is not a language.
Exactly.
It's a nationality, okay? And there are hundreds of languages actually spoken throughout India. And the language of English and Hindi are the most widely spoken languages. And actually that leads me to the next lie. Indians speak Hindu? Okay, guys, you know, a lot of people get confused with the religion of Hindu and the language.
Yeah, and that used to be me at the start when I was learning a lot more about India. I didn't know the difference between Hindu and Hindi, but then I found out Hindi was the language. Hindu is the
language of Hindi. So yes, Hindu is the religion. And Hindi is the language. But yeah, you'll definitely be surprised that many Indians don't even speak Hindi anyways. They speak languages of the Dravidian origin. And as a matter of fact, Hindi isn't even taught in many of the schools in India.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Every region has its own set of languages, and Hindi is spoken in its purest form in the northern sections of India. Now the next lie is Indians are poor, but they're happy.
Yeah.
Like, so
I hate those stereotypes about India. It honestly, and I couldn't imagine being someone who is Indian and growing up, and you know, you just hear people from different countries saying that it's all poor and it's all like slum-like. That shit pisses me off, and I'm not even Indian. I mean, like, that stereotype about India being poor is some of the most dumbest, stupidest thing I've ever heard. I mean, just take a look at the country and in the cities, and you'll know that they are not poor.
I guess this one comes from watching different movies and TV shows. You know, I remember that movie Slumdog Millionaire and all of that. There are slums in India. However, the Indian population is divided into 3 basic categories. Like, there's the poor, there's the middle class, and then there's the rich. And even though there's a lot of poverty in the country, the biggest economic group is the middle class. They live great lifestyles and have amazing homes as well. Also, some of the richest people in the world live in India.
Mukesh Ambani. I mean, look at that man's goddamn house.
Yeah, so to assume that it's just a poor country, but they're happy anyways being poor, that is just a straight up lie.
Facts.
The next one is Indians are uneducated.
What?
This is
Alright, I haven't actually heard of that. I haven't heard of that.
Probably one of the most inaccurate stereotypes.
I've never heard of that one.
Because Indians are highly educated.
They're smart.
Don't just work at convenience stores, you know? Indian educational system is a very important part to the country. Even poor families from different villages strive to make their children have the best education. There's a lot of doctors and engineers that come out of India, as well as people with MBAs and PhDs, all sorts of major qualifications, and business people.
Of doctors
the education
as well.
system in India is very competitive and challenging. And I heard that it's even more challenging than some of the schools over here in the West. So yeah, anyways, bottom line is a lot of smart people coming out of India.
Exactly.
Now, this other one kind of ties into the previous
this one is a big stereotype, like a huge one, and especially living in Australia. Before, you know, I was on YouTube learning a lot about India or whatever it be. You know, that used to be a stereotype that I had. That's a stereotype that I say most people in the world would have. You know, there was always this stereotype that people from India or people from China, Japan, of any Asian descent were like these IT experts, and it's like, I don't know why and the reason is people have that is because when there is Indians that live in, let's say Australia, a lot of the tech experts do happen to be Indians that are in Australia, but that's just purely because that means they're smarter than us. I mean, that's bad on air.
Lie at number 7, but all Indians are IT experts.
Yeah, that's silly.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I've gotten those IT calls from India that are just straight up scams.
True.
But yeah, this is another big lie. Indians have showcased a lot of different talents in various fields, including the information technology field, of course. But yeah, there's a lot of popular personalities from India, like Priyanka Chopra. She's an actress and a singer.
Right.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He's into politics, and he's the current Prime Minister of India. Dhoni, who's big
Hey! MS Dhoni!
into sports. He's a major cricket player. And Amartya Sen is known in the field of literature. So yeah, there's a whole sea of talents that the people
I'm gonna leave a like on this video after I'm done, just for mentioning Dhoni.
of India have. Halfway in at number 5, all marriages are arranged by the Indian parents.
That's silly.
And in all honesty, if you go to India and you speak to the families there, they're actually quite liberal in who their children marry. Even as the majority of marriages in India are arranged, there's definitely a huge rise in love marriages. People just get married because they really love each other, have nothing to do with the parents. And also in India, marriages aren't really forced upon the kids these days, although yes, it is a big dream and wish and a hope and prayer for a lot of Indian parents.
Yeah, I've actually never understood. If someone could explain it a little bit more to me, I don't understand the arranged marriage sort of thing. Obviously, I know that it's the parents and they'll bring two people together and they say, all right, you'll get married and be in love. But I mean, I don't know if that's a religion thing, a cultural thing. I don't actually know where that comes from. But to be honest, I just think love is purely when you meet someone, you've been around them, you get to know them a lot more. You obviously, personalities click, you click as people together, and all that. And then I think that's what marriage should be about, is more the love side, not just bringing two people together and not forcing by any means, but like just trying to make it work. I kind of like the natural thing. But again, everyone's different.
Like many other countries, for their kids to get married, it's a big lie to say that they're all forced.
Yeah.
Now, I actually heard this one this week. Indians are vegetarians because they worship cows. So Indians, they do have a mix of vegetarian and non-vegetarians, pescatarians, all sorts of tarians.
Yeah.
I mean, like Indians, they eat buttered chicken and kebabs.
Exactly.
With beef. And they do have a wide variety of vegetarian dishes as well as non-vegetarian dishes. Yeah. Really, there's a whole buffet in the country of India. There's also belief that Indians worship millions of gods. 330 million gods to be exact. Now, these gods and goddesses have multiple heads and arms and all of that. So like, what kind of thing is going on here in the religion of Hinduism, which is the largest religion in India? But not many people know that while Hindus do believe that God is in everything, it's all a manifestation of one source and creator of reality, which they refer to as Brahman. So therefore, every living and non-living thing is viewed as sacred. Each of the gods and goddesses in Hinduism also represent individual aspects of Brahman. So for example, Ganesh is worshipped for good fortune and removing obstacles. And Hinduism doesn't actually prescribe any sort of set path for people. Rather, the followers focus on building their own genuine connection with God. And they can pick and choose whichever deity they feel to worship, which all represent an aspect of the one true God anyways. Now, the second lie is...
Yeah. I mean, this is probably the most silly one on the list. Indians do yoga and say namaste. And I think a lot of these stereotypes come from movies or some shit like that. And obviously, that like you watch let's say, I'm trying to think of an example. You watch The Big Bang Theory, if anyone's seen that. The Raj, his name's Rajapathy Kashrapali or something like that. I believe he's from India. In Big Bang Theory, I haven't watched it for a while. He's either Indian or Pakistan. No, he's Indian. And I think they get him to, put on this real Indian persona of doing yoga and saying namaste a lot. And a lot of other Indian stereotype stuff. And I think that's just where people get it from. I think it's not a racially motivated thing, but it's a just a thing that people see with their eyes and hear and listen.
Indians all do yoga and say namaste. So there's been a huge growth in the New Age spirituality, especially over here in the West.
I'm doing yoga.
A lot of different views up in terms of spirituality from India. Yet the yoga Wali practice in the West is completely different from the centuries-old tradition that is practiced in India. Also, not everyone in India incorporates yoga into their daily lives. And while namaste is a very integral part in the Indian culture, it's no longer a universal greeting in modern Indian society. Normally you hear that type of greeting used in formal gatherings or when people are interacting with elders. It's also most common where they speak Hindi in its purest form, and you'll find that in North India. And the final biggest misconception, stereotype, and lie about India is that India has no toilets. I hear this one.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot, and it has to be one of the most dumbest things. Like, I actually heard someone say this a few days ago, that people just shit on the streets. I'm not making this shit up. I was speaking to someone, and I can't remember how the topic of India actually got brought up, but someone said that everyone just like shits on the, like most of the people take a shit on the street. I was like, and I just stood there for a minute, and I thought to myself, what? What?
All the time, like seriously, and I see them in the comment section. You guys are like terrible sometimes towards Indians. Anyways, that's another story though. But yes, you'll find that there's many squatter toilets in India, and also many places don't have toilets. However, the government of India claims that the situation has been improving rapidly since 2015, and this is mainly due to the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan campaign. And according to the latest numbers, only 5% of the total population of India have no access to toilets at all, and that is far from all Indians having no toilets.
That's only 5%.
Okay, guys, so those were the 10 biggest misconceptions, stereotypes, and just straight up lies about India and Indians. Let me know down below in the comments section, what other lies do you know about? I'd also leave your comments about anything that I mentioned in this episode. I look forward to seeing them. Join on the conversation down below. Alright guys, so if you enjoyed this,
hey, shout out to this man, FTD Facts. Hey, originally in the description. Shout out to this man. Hey, I appreciate people sending me this video because this was a good one to actually react to. I want to go back and start reacting to these kind of like stereotype or like these kind of facts videos about India, because you know these videos were good to react to about, like, let's say 6 months ago when I started learning a lot more about India, and I was kind of new, very new, and learning a whole lot. But now let's say 6 to 8 months later, and I've learned so much about one country, like insane amount. Now it's funny just for me to go back and listen to some of these things and go, I can't believe people think that. But you gotta know, not everyone gets the opportunity to, you know, is watching videos about India like I am, or anything like that, or learning, because some people just don't care to learn or anything like that. And it would be like me reacting to videos on Iran, or I don't know. Like, I don't know anything about Iran. It's just how much you learn, how much knowledge you take in about one thing. But hey, that is gonna cap it off, guys. 10 biggest lies about India. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.